Hi, my name is Susan Weimer, and my blog is www.stampbackandrelax.blogspot.com, and I'm on the Craftin' Desert Divas design team, and we'll be making this card today using a galaxy background made with alcohol inks in the Far Out stamp set. So off camera was a clean one. I think it's about 1.5 inches of water. I got this idea from Jennifer McGuire. She had a video on this, doing this on white paper and I think Yupo, and I will link to that below. But I wanted to try and see what it did in a dark background. So I have some black, Basil Black Licorice 110-pound cardstock that I've cut into a regular card front size. And I've put colored pigment in there, hoping to pick up some of the hues from the card onto the black. And please excuse the lighting. I can see my light there in the top, but I've got to get some better lighting. Anyway, so I've added some Copic refill, R89, because I know that's a lot more saturated, or at least I think it is. Now see, it is those big clumps. I miss them on this, and I'm not really getting the color on there. So I'm going to try with the blues. This is patina followed by turquoise, I think. One of the newer colors. Not sure, I just updated my alcohol inks. And so I've got the gold mixative. Shake it up first, because it isn't, there's little flecks of gold, mica probably in there, I'm assuming. And I'm starting to realize that I need the clumps. The clumps are going to get you the galaxy background, so putting some more in there. Now I'm going to try adding Perfect Pearls to see if I can get that to disperse, and what that's going to look like. And basically I just was experimenting. I turned the camera on and thought about sharing this tutorial. Instead of doing it as a picture tutorial, I thought I would do a video. These Perfect Pearls are really, really old. I don't know if that's why they didn't disperse as well in my video, in my process as it did in Jennifer's, but she was also magical. So, but here's where I figure out it's the clumps that you've got to get. So I think the next time I do this, I'm just going to use the two mixatives. There's also new mixatives that are just coming out that I don't have yet. I think there's a rose gold and a couple other colors that would look really awesome on this as well. And now here, look at that. That is the money. That is just spectacular. There's no way I could have ever gotten that on blending. So this is my little character from the Far Out stamp set by Craftin' Desert Divas. And I'm stamping on some Copic Expressive blending paper with some Memento ink, which we have in the shop. And I've switched temporarily, or I'm trying out new cardstocks for my Copic blending. I'm by no means a Copic expert. I've been taking classes and people have been suggesting that I try this paper. So I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. I'm just using it for coloring images. I am not using it for card fronts unless I was going to make a scene, just because it is so much more expensive than Nina. So I'm just going to cut her out a little bit just to make it easier. And I think I've gotten in a little too close. So the first thing we're going to do is color the moon, and I'll be putting my colors up in the top left-hand corner, theoretically. And I have YR24 there, but I don't end up using it. And I'm just going to take my Y11 and not put the cap down. It is so hard to do these videos. I never realized that till I've just started doing this on my own. This is Y17, and just adding some shading. And I know I got a blooper outside there. We'll fix it later with my Sakura white jelly pen. No one will notice it once we cover it up. I've done that a lot and it works every time. So Y15 to make the blend. Just using the side of my marker. I'm not doing any flicking or anything like that. And one thing I will add is that because she is basically sitting on the moon, when I colored her, I should have added a yellow glow to the to that right hand edge of the image, and I didn't. If I were to color this again, and I probably will because I think she's adorable and I love this set, I will do that. And yes, I know there are stars in her hair and I've forgotten them, but I've forgotten lots of things. C3 on the edges of the bucket just to get some shading. I was hoping to get a little bit more of a definitive look to this bucket to make it look more metallic, but I didn't get that. And again, I probably would have added some yellow glow along the edge of that as well. So for her face, I did quadruple zero. I thought she'd be kind of pale up there in space. Who knows? So maybe you're not really pale up in space. And then E00, and I'm working light to dark. I tend to be really heavy-handed with my darks, so I'm going that way. That works better for me. I know there are other people who go the other way. Do what works best for you, and by no means am I a Copic expert. As I've already said, I am not certified, so maybe I'll learn to go the other way. I don't know. And then I'm going to add a little E11 there on the edge of her hair and around the sides of her face. Try to get that curve in her face. Just because I thought she was kind of blah. And then I'm going to reverse the process. And I found an ear. Look, oh, there's an ear. And watch, I don't color the other ear. You would think that I would know that there would be two ears, and I should look for them on my little troll. Because she's really not in a full side view profile. She's just, what, quarter of the way around? But no, I leave that uncovered. So the hair is E51, E35, E23, and E29, and I got it from Pinterest from one of Jennifer Dove's color of the days, and I'll try to remember to put that link below. She used E25 and I didn't have that marker, so I just went for the closest one that I could find, which was E23. And I'm trying to leave some highlight in the hair, and I'm not putting it in the right place. But that's okay. I'll get it right the next time. So what I've learned from doing research on YouTube and Google is that if you're coloring objects that are underneath another transparent object, like her hair that's underneath her space helmet, is that you want what's underneath the transparent object to be a couple shades lighter. So I'm not going to use the darkest colors on her hair in that part. Yeah, and I don't know if I've gotten that ear yet. Crazy. Now I'm coming in with my E29, hoping to just build up some vibrancy in there. And I'm sorry about my hand getting in the way. I was trying to keep the paper turned, but obviously just missed it there. And I come back with the E23 and then the E35. So I've got to work some more on hair. I'm looking at this going, oh my gosh. But I'm also learning how to color this type of smaller critter, I guess is what you want to call it. Well, she's a troll and she's adorable. But I'm just learning how to do those. And that ear, somewhere around here. But anyway, I'm just putting a little bit of blue, BG000 and BG000 around the edges of her helmet, just to make it stand away from her head. And then I'm going to fussy cut it. And I am actually going to try to cut out all of those little pieces where the moon's connected to her, so I can get as much of the black background showing through. I just didn't think it would look really good to not have that. And Kathy Rakosin's always talking about fussy cutting, just go for it. And I thought, all right, I did this image during the coloring challenge, and I thought, all right, I'm just going to go for it. And I did, and it was fine. And I would definitely do it again. These are just Fiskars scissors, I don't even think they barely make them anymore. I had them for so long. I think my kids were teenagers, and they're a lot older than that. So I'm just going to go around her, and yes, I'm going to go in there by her hand. And I'm trying to on purpose leave that little white border. I find if I get too close to the edge of things, that they just don't, I know I cut into the image too much. So I always try to leave a little white border. But if you're better at fussy cutting, then just go right ahead and do it that way. So isn't that cool? There she is on her background. I'm going to get rid of that, clean up that a little bit of yellow, and put her on there, pop her up with some foam tape, and I have a A2 size piece of the Basil cardstock that I'm going to fold. I've die cut the Galaxy panel with one of the fancy frames from, one of the dies from the fancy frames set by Craft and Desert Divas. And I just wanted to show you the other ones. Even the backs are cool. So this is, you could get so much out of this. Die cuts, card fronts, you could use the front or the back. I can see lots of uses, and you can see where the clumps of perfect pearls are there. But so now I've got a piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment in Ranger Enchanted Gold, and it just really didn't look as vibrant on the black cardstock as I had hoped. So I actually redid this with just plain gold cardstock, but I gold embossing powder. Yeah, it just faded out. I was kind of surprised because this is usually pretty vibrant. Sorry, I went off camera there. But and then what I did was I changed my plan and decided to die cut the some black cardstock with the smaller rectangle in the Fancy Frames die cut set. And yeah, there's some editing I need to do. Okay, so there's what we did. I'm over to my die cutting machine. I'm going to put this all together. I'm going to pop her up, and I have to decide which side of this cardstock I'm going to use. It's so yummy. And I was so excited because, like I said, I just cannot make those really cool backgrounds that everybody else does. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'll keep trying. But this was easy. Easy, easy, easy. They didn't take that long to dry. I do live in Florida, but it's actually been kind of cold and rainy here. So I just turned my overhead ceiling fan on, and I want to say, gosh, they were dry in at least an hour and a half. And this is thick paper. Some of them were a little warped, so I will just probably iron them a little bit. And so, and there's the sentiment. Also going to pop that out, and you'll see that I make a change to the card later, just because I don't like the way this looks. And I think it's something that I've learned over the years is that I'm always changing something. I don't know why I bother to glue anything down. People should just get card backgrounds in the mail. You can write your note in the inside. So I'm using some Wink of Stella because you gotta add some sparkle, and I've added some gold sequins. You can barely see them in the light. I recorded this all at different times of the day, and now I'm just trying to fix that little moon. It's popping up in a way that I don't like, so I've cut a teeny weeny itty little bitty piece of cardstock and trying to get that to work. No, foam tape. What am I saying? Cardstock. Goodness gracious. And you would think that I could find a piece of foam tape that's tiny, because I usually just tag them onto my desk so that I can have them when I need them, but no. To make this one. There we go. That makes sure that that stays down, and I don't think the recipient's ever going to notice that that I cut through there. And I think Kathy talks about that a lot in one of the sequins that left. I'm just going to glue it back on. So that's the card, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you liked it, and the thumbs up button. And thank you for being with me here today, and I hope to make more videos in the future.